Hello. So I was just getting ready for bed, and God clearly said to me, He's like, they don't know or understand that a chosen one can never be defeated. And these are words that the Lord has given me many times in the past. I've actually put out a few videos about this, but I had put one out specifically titled that chosen ones are undefeated. And the Lord is commenting to me, and He was revealing to me certain examples of what He was referring to, of how these people that come against the chosen ones, well, the children of God, but in particular the chosen ones, they know that you can't be defeated, but they can't comprehend that you can't be defeated because their ego is so huge and their narcissism and their pride is so massive that they have this thinking that even though they know that God's protecting you, they know you're a child of God or a chosen one, they still think that they somehow can, in their own human power, psyche, manipulations, will, whatever you want to say, that they can still coerce things to where somehow, some way, eventually the chosen will be defeated. So this means where, say they come up against you by themselves and they see and notice that God's protecting you, can't be defeated, then in their mind, instead of accepting that, they know it's true, but they think, because they're so egotistical, well, all I got to do is just bring on 6 more people and then I got this, because 6 against 1 is, there's no match. But then you take on those 6 people and you're still undefeated. So then they know this still, but in their mind they think, okay, I just need to go and get 12 people. And then you come up against 12 versus 1, you come up against the 12, you come out victorious again and again and again. Pretty soon they're up to like 50 different people and you're still coming out victorious, right? So then they think, okay, I just have to up the ante. I just have to do more lying. I have to make up bigger fibs, bigger tales. I have to come up with more wicked intentions. Okay, let's see. And then they literally have like a checklist. They're like, okay, ruined their reputation. Oh, they surpassed that. Okay, I ruined their relationships. Oh, they surpassed that. Okay. I made them their family go against them. Oh, they surpassed that. Okay, I'll turn people against them. Oh, I did that. They surpassed that. So they literally have this checklist of things that they think will do the trick, because even though from minute 1 all the way up until this very second I'm speaking, you have been and remained undefeated. Oh, the Lord's saying you're the reigning champ. So you will always maintain being the reigning champ. You've always been the reigning champ. What these people that come against you at this point in time in your life don't understand is that you've been marked chosen since birth. So literally all your elementary school days, like your childhood days, you were coming up, the devil was sending the odds against you. All your teenage years, the devil was setting the odds against you. So say you're 20, say you're 30, say you're 40, say you're 50, you have been dealing with adversity for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, right? You know what I'm saying? These people don't understand. Even though they may have come to know of you in the last 5, 10, 15 years, they don't understand that you've been having the mark of adversity go against you. The devil's been trying his best. Like, they need to get in line. You've been having people go against you since you were in diapers. So it's like, this is literally, they're like opposition, number 550 in your life, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you've already been there, done this so many times in your life. There's nothing that this person can do. By the time these people came against you, it doesn't matter if it was 20 years ago, 5 days ago, 2 months ago, 2 years ago, 7 years ago, 12 years ago. It doesn't matter the time frame. Whenever these people came against you, the Lord had already equipped you from birth with the ability to handle rejection, the ability to handle any type of negative slander, the ability to handle any type of abandonment, the ability to handle any type of betrayal, right? You know what I'm saying? You already came equipped from birth with the antidote to anything that they could come up with. There is nothing that their human mind could come up with, drum up, dream up, or entertain or conjure that you either haven't already dealt with, or if it happens to be a new thing thrown your way, the Lord has you covered for that. There's nothing that could come your way that you're not already covered for, right? The Lord has covered you for it. So it's like the Lord is showing me like somebody like you, okay, you being a child of God, you being a chosen one, you have like this unbreakable umbrella, right? Where like no matter what type of precipitation, it could be a wind, it could be a hailstorm, could be a snowstorm, could be a blizzard, could be crazy flooding rains, could be anything coming down on you is just, it doesn't touch you because you have this umbrella covering you from top to bottom. That's what it's like. It's like the more they try and throw stuff at you, it doesn't matter what it is, you have this umbrella covering over you, and they think it's new. They think this is something you've just like you went to God 2-3 years ago and you acquired this. No, this is something you've had since you were born, right? This is the hallmark of a chosen one, is that they have this shield, this umbrella, whatever you want to call it. It's like a raincoat, like it's protection from the elements, right? Of things that go on outside of you, right? So the Lord knew what was in store for you throughout your life. So therefore he had already instilled upon you, in you from birth, the antidotes for these things, right? So these things that they come up with, first of all, they're not going to surpass or supersede the Lord. The Lord doesn't work in human ways. The Lord works in spiritual ways. So therefore there's no human on the planet that he has created that supersedes him. So therefore, if he already knows everything that's already happened to you and that is going on currently or that will go on in the future, he's already allotted covering for that. He knew in advance what to give you an umbrella for, right? And there's no human that can think to his degree or his level. So therefore he's already went ahead of it all and covered. If say you're 30, 40, 50, it doesn't matter your age, the Lord is already 10, 20, 30, 40 years in advance got you covered. So the things that you'll go through in 10 years, he already has you covered for it today. So this is the thing. This is how the Lord is saying they know that you're undefeated. They understand that. But it doesn't stop them from continuing to think that there must be something that they could do in their own human will, human mind frame, that could somehow override or trump what it is that God is doing for you and has done for you and will do for you. But this is how the chosen ones, they're confident because they don't have, God's told me this, God's been giving this to me the last couple of days. He's saying it's not confidence, it's Godfidence, right? You have Godfidence. You have confidence in God. The average human person has confidence. And so some of these people, they have confidence, but it's not even confidence. It's pride. It's ego, which is overinflated confidence, right? It's on the toxic, unhealthy side of things. Their overinflated ego and pride and sense of self, they chalk it up to confidence. They think that they're confident, but in reality, it's beyond that. Like it's crossed over into immense amounts of pride and ego. And those are things that a true child of God doesn't have. A true child of God is not in pride and in ego, right? And of course, we're human. We can dabble in pride and ego sometimes, but that is not where a chosen one child of God exists, is in pride and ego and narcissism. They are in confidence, right? But God said it goes deeper than that. It's not even confidence, because confidence is having an awareness or an understanding of what you're capable of in your human power, right? What you have is Godfidence, because you know what God is capable of in his power. So it supersedes the human psyche of confidence, the human understanding of such things, right? And they understand this. They know that it's God covering you and that you have confidence in God. So therefore, that's why they try to come against your relationship with God, and or try to simultaneously achieve and obtain a relationship with God to a similar facet that you have. But yet they come up short every time, because for one, they're not a chosen child of God. They think they are in their own head because the overinflated ego, but they're not. It's just like, I'm just going to say there's celebrities out there, right? And we see them where they think that they're above things. They're above the law. They're above anything like that. And in their mind, they're like, oh, he or she isn't going to leave me or divorce me because I'm me. Or my kids will end up turning out perfect because they're my kids. Or I will never have to worry about the things that mere peasants have to worry about, like poverty or bills or lack or anything like that, because I'm rich, I'm me. You know what I mean? This overinflated, grandiose sense of self, this narcissistic quality that we see on celebrities, that is what these people that come against you have. They're one and the same with that. That's why they're into celebrity stuff. They're all into celebrity things. They're into the reality TV. They're into celebrities. They're into the royal family, all that stuff, because they share the narcissistic mentality with them. Those royal family members and those celebrities have narcissistic thinking and an overinflated sense of pride and ego, and so do these people that come against you. So they can relate with people on that level. When it comes to the children of God, the chosen ones, not only are they not there, but they have Godfidence, where they put all their human confidence in God. And so therefore it comes from this extreme higher place that not even you can try to subjugate if you wanted to, but irrespective of you, these people cannot thwart that, even no matter how much they try, right? They have tried. But because it comes from God. See, that's the thing, is these people have came against your relationships with man. So your relationships with friends, your relationships with partner, your relationships with family members, they've came in between of that. Because, well, human can come in between human. But you can't come in between the relationship that a man or woman, like a human, has with God. Okay? And they've tried several times to break this bond that you and God have, because they think that if they can successfully achieve that, that then they can break this umbrella, this shield, this covering that you have, and then you'll be more susceptible and more vulnerable, right? But it just, the Lord laughs at them, because the Lord says it just bodes all the more to how egotistical and narcissistic they are. The fact that they think that not only that they can sway some sort of make some sort of opposition happen in the midst of yours and God's relationship, but also that they think they can move God's hand. That's how narcissistic these people are, is that they think that they are God, that they can not only come in between you and God on and try to thwart things for you, but on the flip side, that they can get God to change his mind, and that they can puppet God and get God to go with their will and what they want, not realizing that God made them. So how is that even possible, right? So this is the thing. But these people this is how ego driven that they have been. They've been in this state for a while because as we've heard before in the past, talking about reprobate mind, they've been given over to reprobate mind. And reprobate mind basically means that God has left them, okay? They think that God is on their side. He's not. They think that God's going to leave you one day soon enough if they just keep up the antics, and if they up the ante, and if they try this and try this and try this, it's not going to happen. They think that they can achieve the upper hand. They just got to bide their time. They got to play their cards right. They got to be more strategic. But if they were so strategic and everything was so aligned for them, then why are you always 2 steps ahead of them? Because God is giving you the 411 on what's happening, right? God's giving you the tea on it, the details. So if they were so masterful and so crafty and so clever and strategic, then why do you know what they do before they do it? So say, for instance, they get a thought that comes to them, just say, for instance, Monday at 6 p.m., just say. You already knew that they were going to get the thought Monday at 6 p.m. on the Thursday earlier at 2 p.m. God told you that that's what was coming up, and you're like, okay. And then, so before they make this move, they think that is so clever and strategic, you already were filled in by God days before that even came to them. So by the time they're putting it in action and following through, you're two weeks ahead of schedule, okay? So this is the thing, but they don't understand this concept, because yeah, if it was maybe just them and you, tit versus tat, it could be one thing, but it's not. You have God in your corner, and they know that. But they are so filled with the reprobate mind, which has filled them to capacity with the ego that is derived from the devil and the narcissistic attitude, to the point that despite all that knowledge, they still foolishly think that they can somehow come against you successfully. No. Remove this covering that God has personally placed on you. No. And or get God to say, you know what, you win, I bow down to you, and then also have them play God in your life and in God's life. Play the God over God, basically. And so to God, this is totally incredulous and ridiculous, right? And this is why he spent this entire year of 2024 laughing at them, right? But it serves a purpose. And that's the other thing too that goes beyond their concept, is that you go along with this willingly because you understand the higher purpose to this. You see the forest through the trees. You see the bigger picture. You were like an eagle flying above, looking down. They are more comparable to like a mouse on the ground. So they have a very limited viewpoint. They don't see the big grand, scheme of things like you do, because they're not chosen by God to see such things, right? And so this gives you a little bit of an upper hand, just that in and of itself, because you're able to see not only what's going on, but what they're doing at the exact same time, right? So they lack insight. They lack the insight that comes along with that. And so they're not seeing the higher purpose that God is trying to achieve here. There's higher purpose reasons, and maybe you wouldn't have done things this way in your own human power, but you're not God, right? You give God his glory. You understand that, and his reverence. You understand that his plan is best. So whether you agree with it or not, understand it or not fully, it's clear or not fully, whatever, you take a step back as a child of God, chosen one, and you just let God work his magic, so to speak, do his will be done on earth as it is in heaven. You understand that concept, right? These people, because of this reprobate mind, they don't understand that. They think, like, in their mind it's so limited. They're like, well, it's got to pay off at some point. There must be some fruit somewhere, because if it was totally fruitless and useless, then why has it been being allowed to go on so long? It's not that we won't make it to the finish line. We just haven't got there yet. We just have to keep trying, because we'll eventually cross that finish line into victory. And God is saying, no, there's never going to be a victory for you. It was always the child of God, chosen one, has been victorious since the day they were born. And until their last day here, they will be victorious. And when their last day comes, they will go up to heaven with their heavenly Father and be victorious up there. There is never a scenario that can be created on this planet that a chosen one, child of God, is defeated and not victorious, especially when their opponent is someone coming from the devil's devil's team, and they're completely filled with ego, narcissism, and coming from a reprobate mind. It's like comparing a mouse to an eagle. An eagle not only can see the mouse from where that vantage point, but it can, not only that, it can fly down, scoop it up and snatch it up, take it off somewhere and eat it. There's not even any type of a comparison, right? So these people trying to come against you is just ridiculous. It'd be like a mouse trying to go against an eagle. These people trying to think that they can interrupt or just destroy this covering and this shield that the Lord himself has put upon you is ridiculous. You've been on the planet for, say, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. Do these people really think that they're the first opponent that they've ever had to face that's tried to do this? You were dealing with rejection in high school, in elementary school. You know what I mean? This is old. These tricks are old tricks to you by now, right? And they don't understand that everything that happens on earth is done for a higher purpose, especially the plans and purposes that the Lord has laid out for his children and his chosen ones, right? The plans that he has for them go beyond even your capacity. You don't even fully grasp it or understand it. So like the Lord is going to put all the cards and all the eggs in the basket to somebody who's running on a reprobate mind working for Team Devil, right? It's not going to happen. So they can think all they want that the victory is imminent, it's on its way. It's not, right? And they can think that if they just try this tactic and that tactic and do this and spend more money and invest more energy and invest more time and gather up more people and just do the same old tricks over and over to the next degree, that that's going to do it. And it's not. And they're seeing this. I mean, this is something, in most people's cases, this is something that's been going on for years, not weeks, not months, but for years. And these people have took the L, like a loss, over and over and over and over and over. I can't even tell you all the overs. We'd be here all night. Multiple overs. They have took the loss over and over again. Okay. And they know this, like what I'm speaking about, they know this. This is not lost on them. They know that you have a covering. They know that you have confidence. They know God's covering you. They know you're a child of God. They know you're a chosen one. They know you're victorious. They know that they've lost a million times. They know that you're undefeated. They know that you're going to stay undefeated. And they know that in the event that something happens, you will go and reign with your Heavenly Father and still be from that eagle's vantage point looking down on them in the situation, just like you are on earth. They know this, but at the same time, they can't help it. The devil's got their reprobate mind on such a overdrive that the narcissism is just multiplying, the ego is multiplying, the pride is multiplying, to where it's just gonna, the Lord is showing me like combustion, like it's just gonna combust, self combust basically, right? And as we know, pride goes before the fall, right? So these people have already fallen spiritually. They're just the manifestation of their falling physically. In some cases it's happened, in others it's on its way. But the window of time is a very short window. It's very narrow. And they know that. They know that the window is narrow. That's why they're pulling out all the stops lately, is to really try to, like I said, make it to that finish line and just think that whatever tactics they try is just going to bring that finish line, even like speed them up, basically speed up the victory for them or whatever. It's going to speed everything up because it's crunch time, right? And they know it. But the Lord says it doesn't matter for you, chosen one, child of God. You can, like I've said before, you can go toe to toe with them. You'll come out victorious. You can kick back and eat chocolate bars all day, you'll still come out victorious. You can fight, like battle it out if you want to, or don't, don't expel the energy. You don't have to. God's got it. God has this in the bag no matter what, whether you exert a little bit of energy or a ton of energy. You can do whatever. You can go toe to toe, or you can just sit back, kick back, and do nothing, right? Obviously, other than be close to the Lord. But I mean, really, the Lord has this. This is all, everything that you're going through and what they're going through, everything they're experiencing, you're experiencing, this was laid out and designed and created on the day that you were born. So this is already in the bag for the Lord. The Lord knows that, the Lord comes out victorious every time. He never takes a loss ever. And so therefore, his anointed ones will never take a loss either, especially his children and his chosen ones. And that's not going to stop the devil from trying, though, and putting in the old, college try, as they say, putting in the best fight that he can, right? Because the pride and ego won't let him surrender. It's not that he's so good or it's even a close call, because it's not. The Lord is saying it's like comparing an eagle to a mouse. There's no close comparison there at all whatsoever, right? But the pride of it'd be like the eagle being the eagle and the mouse thinking they're an eagle. And if a mouse could talk and say to you and me, I'm an eagle, we would laugh at it, would we not? Because we know the truth, right? Well, that's how the Lord is seeing this, is because the Lord is every day watching over you and also overseeing what they're doing. And so the Lord is likening it to them being like a mouse, trying to call themselves an eagle, trying to tape some wings on their back and try and say, I can fly. And the Lord is saying, no, I made the eagle fly and I made the mouse the mouse. I know what I'm doing here. If I wanted the mouse the eagle, I would have done it that way. I didn't do it that way. This one's the eagle, this one's the mouse. I know what I'm doing. The Lord knows what he's doing in the animal kingdom, and the Lord knows what he's doing with humankind, right? He created both. So, it's not his first day. He knows what's going on. If these people were supposed to be chosen ones, children of God, but in particular chosen ones, he would have made it that way. They're not, and they're not for a reason. You're an eagle for a reason. They're a mouse for a reason. You're not a mouse and they're not an eagle. There's no switching it up, okay? Just like an eagle isn't a human and a human isn't an eagle and a human isn't a mouse and a mouse isn't a human. God knows what he's doing at all times. So in order, like we know the saying, pride goes before the fall, right? So in order for these people to fall, they have to have the pride, just to make it fair, right? And so then this way, when they do fall, because they've already fallen spiritually, but when the fall manifests physically and then they fall physically, the only one that they can blame is themselves, because they're going to be reminded of all the pride that they had puffed up and lived in for X amount of time before the fall inevitably came, right? And I'm not going to get into it, but this message that I'm talking about tonight, this applies to you, chosen one, child of God, in your personal situations, but it also applies to the politicians, the political races that we're seeing. This applies to countries that are at war right now. Like, this is the thing, is people are trying to forecast that the enemy is going to get the upper hand. I'm not going to get into the specifics, but let's just say when it comes to the political division, they're trying to say that those that represent team devil, team enemy, the narcissists, are going to just, it hasn't maybe happened yet, but you just wait and see, the victory is assured. They're going to supersede and come ahead of who God's chosen. No, they're not. No, they're not. It doesn't matter if that election or that voting or whatever the final moment comes in the next week or in the next year or in the next 5 years. It doesn't matter. These people are so stuck on the timing of things. They think it's just a matter of time, and oh, let's watch this moon cycle, and let's watch this eclipse, and let's watch this holiday, and let's watch this, and let's watch that. And they don't understand. This, again, is the reprobate mind, right? It can't comprehend or interpret information accurately. So therefore, they're so hung up on the timing of things, the clock, the calendar, man-made things. And God is saying, I control all timing and of events, of everything. I will control when my son comes back. I will control who wins what political race. I will control when they win it. I will control when these adversaries fall and when my eagle chosen children rise. I will determine and dictate when these things occur, right? That's the thing, is that the devil understands that the Lord controls and operates everything. He oversees everything, right? But the devil still is going to continue to try. And if he can bring these people down with him, because misery loves company. So the devil's already miserable. And so if he can bring these miserable people down to his level, then he's happy about that, right? And so, yeah, so I just want to say, in summary, the Lord is saying to leave it there. So these people that are coming against you, they think that they can come, that the victory is on its way. And they think that they can manipulate outcomes and manipulate the timing of things. And the Lord is saying they absolutely cannot. They understand that you are undefeated at this time, and they know deep down that you will continue to be undefeated. But unfortunately for them, the reprobate mind has taken full control of them, and it's been in full control for quite some time now. That's what's been controlling and navigating what they do in life on a day-to-day basis. And the reason they've been given this reprobate mind is because their narcissistic, egoic, prideful attitude has gotten beyond measure, and this is what you receive when that happens to you. No different than how we're seeing all these celebrities falling from grace because of the very same thing. They've been operating out of a devilish reprobate mind for several years, and it's finally caught up to them. They spiritually fell a long time ago. Now we're witnessing the physical fall. These, in your own personal life, child of God, these adversaries that have been coming against you, that have been working for the devil, they too have fallen spiritually already. Same thing goes, just having to wait for the physical fall to manifest. And these celebrities can't blame anyone but themselves, because they were living in a prideful, egoic manner for several years before this actually came to be, right? Because the pride goes before the fall. It doesn't say pride goes after the fall. You don't fall and then there's pride. There's pride first and then the fall. So you got to be careful when you fall into pride. And I mean, it can happen to us all. We're all human. But when you don't leave that pride behind, you don't don't repent for it and you don't stay close to the Lord, that prideful attitude can snowball. And once it snowballs, it turns into huge ego and narcissism. And when it gets to the narcissistic point, you're done for, because it's going to turn into a reprobate mind from there. It doesn't have far to go from there, right? And once it's in the reprobate mind, the devil has full operation over you, and then it's just a matter of time. Some people it could be days, some people it could be years, some people it could be weeks or months, but it's at the end, the fall is inevitable, is what I'm saying, right? So that's how it starts. And so because these people have been operating in this narcissistic, prideful attitude, therefore they have earned themselves a reprobate mind. There is no way that someone representing the devil's team operating out of reprobate mind can be chosen by God, for one, and for two, be chosen to come from an eagle's perspective in that vantage point, to soar above things like that, right? Obviously, you're not an actual eagle, but I'm saying how an eagle can oversee things from its high vantage point. They can fly very high, right? That's how high the Lord has his true children, his chosen ones, flying. And then the Lord is saying that whether these people realize it or not, and of course they don't realize that they're in reprobate mind and their ego is massive, but whether they realize it or not, they're in a concept of a mouse. That's their animal that they're representing, is like a mouse, but yet they're trying to call themselves an eagle. But the Lord knows that they're a mouse and that you're an eagle, and has highlighted to you as well that they're a mouse and that they're an eagle. So the only ones that they're really fooling is themselves and each other, those who also have a reprobate mind. So in reality, you never take a loss. If these people come and separate you from your family, it's because your family was working through reprobate mind as well. And so, like attracts like, right? Misery loves company. So therefore, if your family is in a reprobate mind, these adversaries are in a reprobate mind, it's not a real head scratcher that they team up and click up together and that, they come against you, right? Of course you don't have anything. So instead of there being 2 or 3 mice, now there's 7 or 8 or 12 mice, right? They conglomerate together, right? Eagles are more solo, right? They fly more solo. So that's the thing. You're likened to like one solo eagle just doing your own thing, flying high, not a care in the world. And these mice, how mice travel in packs, right? That's what they're like. They're like, they start out as 3 or 4 of them. It turns into an infestation. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, there's 10, 15, 20. They multiply, right? But as soon as like you come in there, they scatter. Right? And so that's the thing, is that as soon as God walks in, they scatter. And they know this. So this is why they're trying to come between your association with God, thinking that that can somehow achieve something, but it hasn't achieved it and it will never achieve it. And again, if they come between you and your relationship or your partnership, same thing. That just means that your partner is operating out of a reprobate mind at this time as well. So therefore, same thing goes, So they think they're really achieving something because they're taking away your connections with friends or family members or co-workers or partner or whatever it may be. But that reprobate mind is very limited. So therefore they don't see things from the higher vantage point that you and the Lord do. So therefore they lack the wisdom, discernment, and understanding that all that theoretically means is that the people that they thwarted or what's the word, Lord, like intercepted the connection with, right? You had a connection and they intercepted it. All it theoretically means is that those people that they successfully were able to intercept had a reprobate mind like them, right? And so in reality, those people were mice. And so the Lord was helping you. He was still protecting you and coming through for you as his eagle, as his child, to keep you away from mice, right? And if you really wanted to, as the eagle, you could just swoop down, pick up one of those mice and just take off with it and eat it for your lunch if you really, really wanted to, right? But you don't bother yourself with that. You don't need to bother with it, right? The Lord feeds you, so you don't need to even entertain or handle it. Do you think an eagle is very concerned about the mindset and the thought processes and the opinions and actions of a mouse? So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. So anyway, I know this will make sense to those who don't have a reprobate mind, who are, you know, true chosen ones, true children of God, who are going through and have been going through a situation like this. And, you know, if the Lord leads me to expand a little bit more on this topic in another video, I definitely will, but this is the word that he gave me for tonight. So he's just saying that, you know, they don't understand that a true chosen one and a child of God is undefeated and remains undefeated. And they understand that, but they still think that they can somehow, you know, mess up or manipulate situations to their advantage, and the Lord's just saying absolutely not. So anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Take care. I hope this finds you well. And again, the Lord will bring it to the right people in his right and perfect timing as always. Take care. God bless.